Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and I just got back from a nice day trip out to Home Depot. I think it was the first time I was in a store like that, I don't know, since 2019. But so I was like a fish out of water, looking all around, checking everything out. Had a good time, and it was productive. So I got this 6 mil thickness on a clear plastic sheeting. It's some poly. Talks about insulation, moisture, dust, dirt barrier, paint protection. Not that I need the paint protection, but there was everything ranging from 1 mil to 6 mil. The 6 mil was the thickest you could get in the clear. So this thing is 10 by 25. So I believe I'm going to fold it in pretty much half once I finish stuff going on up here. It's really just been in setup mode. Finally got some extra wood. Got some 2x4s in there, so we're ready to rock. Let's see, I got a good general pelletized. That's how I prefer my fertilizers. I feel like liquids go too quickly because I have too many plants and trees. And these pellets, they slow release for 2 months, specifically for flowers and vegetables, so I can put them on my fruiting trees and such, and I don't have to worry about it being unsafe with Stella running around. Not that she's going to be taking shots of pellets, but so yeah, it's a 222, pretty general, just a little something to get them going. Transitioning into the fall and coming in from outdoors. I'll probably even drop some in some of my outdoor trees. And then third and final, this is also for organic gardening. I got the Insecticidal Super Soap, and it's ready to use. So it says it takes out scale and white flies, which are my two #1 issues. I have had spider mites bad in the past, and also aphids. I've had green and black aphids. So but last year was really white flies and scale, and I think I have the other stuff under control. So it says for use on vegetables, citrus, fruit and nut trees, berries, and ornamentals. So I figured that was perfect. So yeah, trusted since 1926. So I feel good about it, saying it's good for organic gardening, specific for fruits and veggies. So let's go take a look at the pineapple guava forest. That I think there's 5 or 6 trees in there. And they're really slow growers, but when they do kick off leaves, they get a nice bright green canopy. It gets a little darker as they age throughout the season. And it's one of those subtropical tropicals that you get to prune a few times a year. So this is going to be one of those times. We'll take a look and see if I could save some leaves, or if we're just going straight defoliation and apply this insecticide spray. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so you can't really tell that it's normally a beautiful little forest, but it is. It was the weirdest thing. I thought that it was from, I left them outside just a little too long and they got cold shock, which they might be suffering from a little bit of that. And then you could see in here, if you don't know scale, they like to get up in your inner nodes. They pick different spots on each plant. A lot of times they're underneath. Here they're not underneath these, they're on the top. And they seem to be on some of the branches. So, man, look at those colors popping on the bonsai and out in the distance. Oh man, that redwood, holy cow. Yeah, it's got to be a dawn redwood. They were sold to me as coastal redwoods, and that's how I'm designing them from a trip out there. But if they brown up and lose their leaves, probably at dawn, which is fine because that means it's a little cold hardier, so I'm actually not upset about that at all. All right, so let's get to fixing this problem. Get a view from here. We do. Get it on the tripod. Not messing anything up. I figure I might as well throw some fertilizer on this bad boy too. Take a look at the size of the granules, see if we like it. I was that guy with no time urgency in Home Depot, so I compared and contrasted absolutely everything. It's driving Laura insane. Okay, let's do this fertilizer first. Oh, cool. Actually, I was like nervous at first. I thought that it was chicken crap, dried chicken crap, but it has no smell whatsoever, and it literally is just little, I guess, all organic, time release little capsules, so they're dehydrated. That's cool. This is probably something that my dog Millie will try to eat the soil. All right. I guess in theory I should have waited till after I did all this to put this in here, but here we are. It'll probably take 2 or 3 waterings to get this stuff going anyways. It says it takes about 7 days and you'll start to notice the difference. Okay. I have to get my scissors. All right, here we go. Well, what I like about this forest planting is that by themselves they're a little bit stringy, but when you group them together, they have some peely bark. It kind of gives it some perspective, like it's bigger than it is. So I like that. So these are in really light soil with pumice and perlite predominantly. Yeah. So it looks pretty infected, and I see some new budding coming out. Nice bright green in here. So I think I'm just going to give it a little profile prune before I even treat it. They did grow straight and leggy, so we're not losing any ramification here. Moving in little dead branches. Ooh, that one got it bad. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Definitely don't want any of the leaves going into the soil. So I'm just working my way around, kind of inspecting as I go, because when you have a forest and it's got lots of branches and you have old eyes, you gotta really get in there and see. Okay, yep, so we're getting some buds coming out of those inner nodes. So I think that the tree realized that it was making a transition. It kind of went to a little bit of a shock, maybe with the cold temperature and a minor scale infestation. Scale are more of a pain in the butt than like ultimately deadly. Like spider mites, those bad boys can take out your forest in a hurry. So this is one I left in there to see if it would come back, and it hasn't, so I'm just going to remove that today, right here. I left it because, you know, sometimes they don't all match each other's grow patterns. Some are more sluggish than others, some come right out. So it did not come back, and even though it didn't really stand out because there's a bunch of other little skinny trees, at least I got that corrected. It's going to be the theme of the day today. It's probably because it's a cleanse day. I'm like extra prune happy. Clean it up. Partially the bark gets peely, which is a pretty cool feature, and partially there it's like pollen from wildflowers after they were done flowering. So probably be blowing my nose all night. Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be a prune and full defoliation where I don't prune. And if this was an outdoor tree and we were going into winter and it stayed outdoors during winter, I would have probably just treated for the scale and not done any pruning. But since it's coming indoors, I look at this as an opportunity for it to get some new warmth and easy conditions, lots of daytime sun, and an opportunity to get some new branching going into winter. And you know, that's always a bonus. If you could get multiple branchings in one grow year, hell yeah. So this branch is growing interiorly. It's just not really serving a purpose, so I'm just going to take that out. Some of these I'm pruning, some I'm just removing right at the node. Wow. I cannot believe I missed this. I've had scale issues with my citrus from the beginning, and then spider plants had issues. I think yeah, maybe it was my lemon tree on one of my trees. Oh no, it was a little palm tree. There was some scale, and there was this family of ants that were continuously like running up and down the leaves and seemingly nibbling on them. And so just kind of watch it and see if they could totally remove them. I let them go. Now they didn't like clean it up like, you know, with a scrub brush, so you can still see remnants of scale, but I'm pretty sure they killed the scale. And that was really cool. I was appreciative. They didn't kill the tree, so obviously they were helping me out. Whew. Yeah, probably with the defoliating. Yeah, there's no sense in me trying to clip it. Oh, come on, don't rain. It's not for me, but for my new phone. It's just starting to sprinkle. Maybe it'll just pass. like I'm tempted to keep some of these. Oh man, this thing is going to be ugly for a short amount of time. I would say 2 weeks and we'll have a healthy amount of bright green leaves coming out, looking all small and shiny and awesome. This is good. Every once in a while you get to get in there, clean up the branch structure. Sometimes insects force you to. I was, for lack of a better word, being lazy because it just looked good. So I didn't mess with it this year. And that's probably why you should inspect your trees all the time. Just some little old prunings down the middle of splitting branches, which is always a good sign with a tree. That shows that with clip and grow it responds well. Your goal is always to get one to divide into two. Sometimes you only get one, sometimes you get none. Focusing on removing some interior branches that'll have no future. Profile prune there. Nice deli. Just running around like a little maniac today. Yeah, I'm just kind of bringing down the overall height slowly. But because they stay so thin, I don't want to have like these big leaves up top and really skinny trunks. I would rather have the tree's overall size be a little smaller, or the forest. Alright, some of these up here don't seem to have any issues. This one's just coming out and then going straight up, so I'm going to prune that back again. Snip that tip, take off the leaves. Yeah, I probably could have time-lapsed this for y'all and done it much faster as far as the video goes, but everybody knows how to use the fast forward button, I'm sure. This one's tough. It's in a small part of the crotch. That'll have to do. I know the mutts that have been hanging out with me out here are going to quickly go inside if it actually does start raining. So I was looking at lawn tractors and there weren't that many out. I went to a few different places. And they're either just too small and similar to what I was working with. That would take me like up to 4 hours. You know, a 42-inch deck. Not the cool zero turn option. Those, so there's like $2,000 ones that were similar to the one that I just had and sold because I hated it. And then there was like $4,500 and $5,500 ones that were the same size deck, but they were the zero turn option. The one that was electric or battery operated, that, maybe it's electric, the Ego zero turn 42-incher. I think it was $5,500. I'm like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, for a 42-inch deck, come on. You're not saving that much on gas, I'll tell you that. Alright, the last of the defoliation here, people. And then we're gonna soak this freaking thing, and I hope it does rain then, because the rain could naturally wash it off for me. I'm gonna spray the hell out of the soil. Yeah. This is like right in Stella's nursery too. But I already see leaves coming out down here, so that's cool. All right. Oh, yeah, hit on me, sucker. Boom. Okay. Any leaves that fell into the soil, I'm just getting them out of here. Let's go with the wider spray first. Any areas where it looks like there's a little bit of scale buildup, just kind of rubbing my fingers over it. It'll usually break up. It's disgusting, but whatever. You just gotta go in and wash your hands after. I've never actually seen them form like black, like blistering on the branches. That is a friggin' new one for me. Well, if nothing else, I like the smell of this, and it's got a nice, powerful, fine misting sprayer, which there's nothing worse than getting like a weak sprayer or one that leaks. Some of the previous prunings, crotch stumps. So no fruit on this obviously yet either. About 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, it'd be 5 in February. So they do not grow quickly, and this isn't that small a pot. Alright, get leaves out of here, and let's spray some soil. And then I'm going to leave it and hope that it rains. Got a nice rain this morning. I should have thought about that ahead of time. Oh well. If this doesn't work, I had a suggestion from my broski Matt. And he said that he soaks his tropicals and trees alike in a bucket of soap solution water before he brings them inside as a precaution. Now that is probably a good thing to start doing next year. Missed the boat this time. All right. Okay, so if we don't get rain before I would want to take this thing in, so before dark, I will take it under the sink and give it a good rinsing, solid watering, water in that fertilizer, and kind of rinse off the excess insecticide. Yes, I think we definitely accomplished something there. All right. I'll show you what I'm talking about with the little butt backs. All right. So we got a little guy down there. That's always a good sign. I'll probably end up taking it out, but that's a good sign. And then there's little green buds. Boom, boom, boom. So I believe they're healthy. They just had a little shock. Now they've been treated and probably will recover within 2 weeks. So I'll keep you posted on those. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video, y'all. And let's see, let's zoom out a little bit. And thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, keep those complaints to yourself. But I love to get the comments and helpful suggestions. So I am Jared Paul from the ranch, and for my family, yours. Cheers.